Thank you. Thanks. Well, good morning, everyone. And I can tell you how personally excited I am to be the one to deliver Macworld 2009's keynote to you. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all showing up and bringing your energy and enthusiasm to this keynote. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Yeah. It is an incredibly exciting time at Apple. There is so much going on across all of our businesses, all around the world. And you can feel it in so many ways, but probably nowhere better than in all these incredible stores that Ron and his team has opened around the world. Here's our store last year we opened in Beijing, China. An incredibly beautiful place. Here's Munich, Germany. We opened it to crowds and crowds of people in Europe. And this one, and this photo is just unbelievable. This is Sydney, Australia. A beautiful city, has a beautiful Apple store. But just look at the crowds of people lining up in that store. And I don't know about you, when I look at this photo, and I look at that big, gorgeous, glowing Apple up in front of it, and I think, what other company's logo could be there you could ever imagine in that photo? And I can't think of one company in the world that could have a store that beautiful, such incredible customers coming, bringing all their energy and love to visit with our stores and talk to the sales consultant and get help with the geniuses and do one-on-one training. I couldn't imagine any other company delivering something like that. Each and every week, now 3.4 million customers visit an Apple store around the world. That's unbelievable, unbelievable. And I'm sorry, I have to make the comparison. That's 100 Macworlds each and every week going on around the world in our Apple stores. So it's no wonder that what's happening with these stores is just so important to us. And they do it because they're such a great place to shop, but they also come because they want to get their hands on and touch and try out an iPhone, an iPod Touch, and yes, the Mac. The Mac has had a resurgence and excitement and interest with customers bigger than we've ever had before. And I tell you, that means so much to us because it is an important part of our business. So today, what I'm going to talk to you about is all about the Mac. I think that's appropriate at Macworld that we talk about the Mac. Last fiscal year, we had the biggest year in the history of the company in Mac sales. We sold 9.7 million Macs. We're so proud of that. Everyone worked so hard, and we did it by growing over twice as fast as the rest of the industry. And that's because we have the best product line we've ever had for the Mac. Up and down the line, amazing, great, beautiful products. The hardware, the Leopard, Mac OS X operating system, all the amazing applications, it's just tremendous. Well, if you want to hear some new things today, and I assume some people want to hear a few new things today, well, I've got 3 new things to tell you about. And I'm really excited to be the one to tell you about each one of these things because they're really special. First, number 1, an entire new version of iLife, iLife 09. Now, hopefully, a lot of you know that iLife has become one of the reasons people buy a Mac today, because we all use these incredible applications. They're so helpful, they're so useful and fun. iPhoto, iMovie, GarageBand, iWeb, iDVD. There's nothing like it on any other computer platform. And as much as some people up north might think that they have some things that are pretty good, there's nothing as good as iLife on a personal computer. So what's new in iLife 09? First up, a brand new version of iPhoto, iPhoto 09. Last year, we introduced an idea to a technology in iPhoto called events. So not only could you see the thousands of of your photos in iPhoto, you could look at them by events. And that took thousands of photos and made it down to a manageable couple hundred events, because they're based on time, a birthday party you attend, a vacation you go on. And it's turned out to be incredibly useful Customers use it, love it. It's just a natural, intuitive way to use all your photos. Well, this year with iPhoto 09, we're adding 2 events, another way for you to manage your photos called Faces. It's really powerful. So many of the photos we take are of people we care about, our family, our friends, coworkers. Wouldn't it be great if iPhoto allowed you to organize your photos down around all your favorite people? So it's really easy to get and find whatever you want. Well, that's what's in iPhoto 09. We've added a new feature in your library called Faces. And it's really beautiful. When you click on Faces, you get this great new user interface. It's a corkboard with snapshots of all your favorite people. If you want to find their photos, you just go into their snapshot, and there they are. It's really cool. How does it work? Well, Faces uses a technology called face detection. Yes. So when you go into an event, for example, this is a camping event, and I click on a picture, there's a new button on the bottom that says, name this person. Because iPhoto wants you to tell it who these people are. And face detection finds the face in the photo so that you can then click on it and type in the name. We'll say, this is Liz. And that's it. That's all you have to do to tell iPhoto whose face you want to track in the Faces feature. So when you go back to Faces now Liz has a snapshot in your Faces area of iPhoto. iPhoto has another technology called face recognition to not only find the faces in your photo, but find the same person across multiple photos. So how does that work? Well, you go into Liz's snapshot, and what you see up above is the picture where you confirmed, yes, that's Liz in that picture. Down below, iPhoto has looked through your photo library and found some other photos that it thinks might be Liz, and is asking you just to confirm that so it knows how to find Liz across all your different photos. That's face recognition. And all you have to do is just single click on some of them and say, yeah, those are Liz. Or if you want, double click on a photo that isn't Liz to say that's not. And that extra help really helps iPhoto out a lot to do a great job finding all your photos of the person you're tracking. Now, there's no perfect face detection and face recognition in anyone's software, but this is the best technology we've found. We think it works really well, and it's incredibly easy to use. So that's Faces. I think you're going to love using it in iPhoto. Well, in addition to events and Faces, we're adding a third way to help you find all your favorite photos. It's called Places. So now we're adding Faces and Places. A lot of the photos, in fact, all of them are of places, right? They're places we visit, places we go on vacations and trips. And it wouldn't be great if iPhoto can organize your photos around where they were taken. And that's just we've added, also in the library, under Events, under Faces, we've added Places. And when you click on Places, what do you see? You see a map. And that map has pins where all your photos were taken. I mean, it couldn't be any easier than that. So how does Places work? Places uses a technology called GPS geotagging. Well, GPS chips we're finding in more and more things. In fact, they're starting to make their way into cameras. So new cameras like this Nikon Coolpix and the most advanced cell phone on the market, hopefully many of you have one, it's the iPhone, it also has a GPS chip in it. And both of these devices embed a geotag right into the photos you take. Well, what's a geotag? It's really simple. It's a big word for longitude and latitude. So for example, when you take a photo, the geotag is automatically assigned by that camera or by the iPhone to the photo you took. Now, it's not that useful to know that I took this photo at 48 degrees, 51 minutes, 33.14 seconds north. So the other thing iPhoto does, it reverse encodes that geotag, and it figures out, well, that's actually at the Eiffel Tower. In fact, it figures out more about it. It's the Eiffel Tower, and that's the city in Paris, and that's in the country of France. And you have access to all that information to use to search your photos or organize them any way you'd like. Now, I know you're probably wondering, well, what about all those photos I took that I didn't have a GPS chip in a camera, and it doesn't have a geotag in it? Well, that's easy, too. So for example, let's go into this backpacking event. Maybe it's something we did back in 2007. We didn't have a GPS chip in our camera. Well, now when you click on the event, there's a little information button. You flip over the event, and there's a new field up there that says Enter Event Location. And you just type in where you went on that event. In this case, Yosemite. Well, iPhoto has a database of thousands of locations. It recognizes what you're typing in and figures out that's Yosemite, a great national park in California. It puts a pin on the map right where that is, and it assigns a geotag to all the photos in that event. That simply. So it's really easy for you to add a location to your entire database of photos if you want them all to be placed on the map for you. So where do these maps come from? We actually are getting the maps from the Google Maps service. And so if you've ever used Google Maps on the web, you know exactly how to use this map. You double-click on it to zoom in. You can go right down to street level and see to the individual street where you were taking those photos. And at any time on the map, when you see a pin, you can just click on it, and it'll take you to where you've seen your photos. Oh, in addition to street maps, we also have satellite imagery as well. So you can see satellite images. Again, click on a pin, and you go right to the photos taken at that location. And because this is places, it has all the photos you've taken, even if they're across different events, because it's about a place now. So that's Places. So Places joins Faces. It's a brand new feature in iPhoto. Now those two things would be enough right there. Those are great, powerful new features. In addition, we've added a lot more depth and power to iPhoto. I want to mention a few other things. We have support for some online services. If you use Facebook or Flickr, that's built right in. So how does that work? Well, for example, maybe you have a picture or a few of your friends. And of course, you've used faces in iPhoto, so there's some faces of the people you know have been assigned to them. And if you have your Facebook account set up, you just click the new Facebook button right there at the bottom of iPhoto, and it sends the photo right up to Facebook for you to share with your friends. One of the cool things is Facebook allows other people to name people in the photos if they know who they are, even if you don't. So let's say the person on the far right, you didn't know who that was. One of your friends can, in Facebook, assign that name, and it gets synced right back down to your iPhoto, and you get that name too. So that's Facebook. We also have support for Flickr. Flickr is a great service where thousands and thousands of beautiful photos are shared, and you can do the same thing. So maybe you've had this photo of this scenery that you want to share up on with the world up on Flickr. There's a button built right into iPhoto. You click it and share your photo up onto Flickr. And now it's there with your Flickr account for everyone to look at. But what's really cool is Flickr also supports geotagging. So it reads the data that we send up from iPhoto, and people can see the places where you took your photos all automatically, built in with geotags. So that's Facebook and Flickr support. Now, once you have all your photos in there, it's really easy with events or places or faces to do a lot of really fun things. One of the simple fun things to do is to show them to other people via a slideshow. So we have a great new feature called Slideshow Themes. So when you go to pick an event, let's say, for example, this ballet practice on the bottom left-hand side, you took some photos at your child's ballet practice, and you want to go in and show that class. You just click it and press the slideshow button, and a new panel shows up. We can not only assign music to your slideshow and set timing, but you can pick one of the built-in themes, and they're really beautiful. So let me show you this ballet theme right now. One of the cool things about that theme is you notice how beautifully the faces were in the center of the photos? They weren't taken that way. We actually used the face detection to properly position the photos in the middle of your slideshow that you play back for people. Maybe your kids are a little older. Here's another theme. Give you an example of the shattered theme. Isn't that cool? That's a great 3D theme. Now, one of the great things about making a slideshow in iPhoto 09 is that you can also save the slideshows directly to your iTunes copy so that you can now sync them onto your iPod Touch, your iPhone, and get the exact same slideshow to show your family and friends right here on your iPhone. So that's some of the features, thank you, in the new iPhoto. Well, in addition to showing slideshows, one of the things that's been really popular with our customers is to print out photos and books right from their events and now places and faces they create. And they're beautiful books, and we've updated them with even more themes and even more beautiful printing. And I want to give you one example. This is the new updated travel book theme. Here's what it looks like. It's absolutely stunning. And inside, in the theme, we have maps. So we use the geotag data so you can automatically get maps in your books of the places you travel in the photo event that you're showing in this book. You can also have maps that have pins for the photos on that page and where they were taken. And that's all done automatically inside the new book feature on iPhoto 09. And you can print now not only on the sleeve, but customers have asked us to print on the hardcover as well. So these are gorgeous new books. So that's the new books. So if you don't mind, I'd really love to be the first to show you the real brand new iPhoto 09 running here on my Mac. So here's iPhoto, it's real, not just a slide. And there's events, something we've had in this last year. It's really great. You can skim over all the events and find all your favorite photos. But now, we have this new feature, Faces. So you saw the snapshots, but the thing the slide didn't show you is how interactive and cool it is. So if I pass my mouse over anyone's snapshot, I see all the faces within that snapshot. And you see how iPhoto with face detection zoomed right in on the face. If I hold down the Option key, I see the entire photo. I can look at the whole photo. Just the faces of the person in the photo. So it's really easy to manage all your friends and faces, but how do you create them? So let's go back to events. I'm going to pick event, this event called City of Light. I'm going to go into it. Let me pick a photo. I'll pick this first one at the top. And let's say that's a person I haven't been tracking yet with faces. So I'm going to go into their photo. And I'm going to click this new button, Name. When I do, immediately face detection finds the face in that photo, and it doesn't know who this is, so it says unknown name. So I'm going to type that person's name. That's Allie. And that's it. I've named Allie, and now Allie will be in my faces section. I can manage it. Before I go back there, I'm going to hit the right arrow, go to the next photo in this event. And you see what iPhoto's done? On this photo, it says, first, on the right, it's asking me, is this Allie? So face recognition at work, it already recognized that might be Allie, and it just wants me to confirm it with a check to be certain, yes, that definitely is Allie. And the person on the left doesn't know who that is. Well, that's Allie's mother, so I'm going to name her Claire. And that's it. Now I'm going to go to Faces, and you see Allie and Claire have been added with snapshots because they're people I'm tracking in Faces. Let's go inside Allie's face here, and now you see I've selected 2 photos I confirmed were Allie, so they're above the line. Those are for certain Allie. Down below, instantly, this is thousands of photos in this library, it's found all these other photos that it believes is Allie. I could just use these now, create slideshows or books, but I want to help iPhoto out a little more, give it more information. So I'm going to click this button down below that says Confirm Name. And what you see, it zoomed right in with face detection on Allie's face in all these photos. Yeah. If I want to confirm that these are definitely Allie and help iPhoto, I just click on them once, and those are definitely Allie. I can even do it faster. I'm just going to drag over all these photos, and automatically they've all been confirmed, and click Done. And now I've added more photos up above that are automatically recognized as Allie, and with that little bit of help, iPhoto can do an even better job finding more photos that are absolutely Allie, and that's all I have to do. So I've made it really easy for iPhoto. Let me go back to Faces. One other cool thing you can do is I skim across all these photos of Allie. I can just pick one and say, well, that's the one I want to be on the snapshot. So I hit the space bar, and that now gets saved as the default view of Allie in all the photos. One more really fun thing. Imagine that's your family on the bottom, a mother and father and 2 kids, and you want to keep track of all their photos at once. I'm just going to drag across all 4, and then I'm going to drag them onto the left-hand sidebar here and let go, and it's automatically made a smart album with all 4 people in it. I can name that. So I'll name that Our Family. And now, whenever I go into that smart album, every photo that I've confirmed is one of those 4 people is always in that album, and I don't have to go hunting for them. So that's Faces. Faces is really powerful. Now let me show you Places. Places is just as cool. So I'm going to click on Places, and there, over the internet, we've got our map, and iPhoto has placed pins on the map of the places we've taken photos. The more you zoom in, the more detail you'll get. So here's the United States, and I can, for example, hover over this pin. Some photos were taken in Aspen. So whenever I see a pin and a name, I can just click the right arrow and go right to all those photos. So those are the photos that were taken at Aspen, even if they're across multiple events. So it's really easy to find your photos and look at them. Let's go back to events. Well, as I said, you might have photos that you took a while ago that weren't assigned GPS tags. For example, this pumpkin patch event was taken in 2007 and didn't have a GPS camera being used. So I'm going to click the information button, flip it open, and it says enter event location. So I'm going to start typing this really cool city out here on the coast, Half Moon Bay. See, I don't have to type very far. It recognizes the name from its list of places. I hit return. It's put a pin on the map on Highway 92 on the way to Half Moon Bay, and it's all assigned. Every photo in that event is now assigned to that location in Half Moon Bay, and I'm done. It's really that easy to add locations to all my events. Let me go to a second event. This one was taken with a camera with a GPS chip inside it, the City of Light event. Let me flip it open. And this is really cool. There are the pins of the location of every photo taken in this event automatically on that map. Isn't that nice? If I skim over the photos, the pins highlight blue on whichever one I'm looking at. Very cool. And in the bottom of the map, there's a little arrow. It says Show in Places. I can go right from this window to Places. So I'm going to do that. Let me click Show in Places. It takes me right to places zoomed in on the map, right around all those photos where they were taken in Paris. So that's really cool. And I can zoom in, double click on a map. As I said, we also have a satellite view. Let's bring up the satellite view. Going even further, you can see the Eiffel Tower right there. I see a pin on it. Someone also pointed out, wait a minute, there's a pin on the water. Well, of course, they took a boat ride along this end and took a picture of it. But let me click on this pin right here of the Eiffel Tower, and sure enough, there are the photos that were taken at the Eiffel Tower, right there in Places. Well, let's go back to the map. I also know some photos were taken of around the Arc de Triomphe, but I don't remember exactly where that was on the map. Well, I could scroll around until I find it, but there's another view in Places I haven't shown you yet. This is the map view. On the bottom, I also have a column view. The column view across the top lists all the places that I've taken photos in the world. It's got countries, cities, states, famous events, famous locations, and I can click on any one of them to get those photos. I can click on the United States. There's all my photos taken in the United States. I can click on California, all the photos taken in California. I'm going to see over on the far right, well, there it is, Arc de Triomphe. I select it, and there are the photos taken at the Arc de Triomphe. I don't have to find it on the map. When I click back on the map, there they are. There the photos are on the Arc de Triomphe. So that is an example of using the brand new Places feature along with Faces in iPhoto 09. Well, I hope you're as excited about it as I am. Love taking photos, love managing them in iPhoto. And iPhoto 09 with all these amazing features, and that's just some of them, didn't get to touch on them all, is incredible. And that's just the first of all the new products in iPhone 09. If that isn't exciting enough, well, we've got a brand new version of iMovie as well. Yeah. iMovie was entirely new last year. Last year, we had this amazing thing happen. One of our engineers, a brilliant engineer, came to us and said he had a whole new idea of a way to do video editing that would be faster and easier and more fun. And it was so amazing, we decided to completely rewrite iMovie. and come out with a whole new version. Really, the only thing that was the same was the name. And in doing that, it was the first version last year. And iMovie has been around for quite a while and had a lot of depth of features. And not every feature was there for every customer. And some people said, look, this is really cool, but I missed some of the features I had previously. It's not everything I need yet. Well, this year, in this new version of iMovie 09, we've added so much depth and so much power that we really think it's going to be the video editing product that every customer is blown away with and loves. So what's in the new iMovie 09? Well, first, a very powerful way to do editing with a new precision editor. Advanced users can bring up an expanded view of their timeline and see their edits up close, edit the audio, edit the video, edit the transition with amazing control. Now, so much power, but it's still incredibly easy to use. When you drag videos into the timeline, we have a new advanced drag and drop feature. So you drag one video on top of another, context-sensitive menus pop up, showing you all the powerful things you can do with a single click. When you started to lay out all your clips, you can instantly make a beautiful movie with new dynamic themes, where you just, with a single click, select a theme, and iMovie automatically creates titles, transitions, effects, even credits, all for you with a single click. And it has this really cool feature. This is my favorite thing. It's called animated travel maps. A lot of the videos you take are of places you visit. Well, now you can automatically create 2D and 3D maps showing where you traveled right in your video. And if you're not the world's best videographer, maybe some of your videos get a little jittery, well, we've got automatic video stabilization, where iMovie will stabilize your video and take away all those jitters. And so things that might not have been usable before are now beautiful, pristine videos to include in your movie. Now, I'm blowing through these really fast, all these features, for a reason. Because it's video editing, and it's really hard to talk about on a slide. So the right way to show you the product is with a demo of the brand new iMovie 09. And I've done something really special. I've asked the engineer who came up with this brilliant idea for this new way to do video editing to do the demo for us. So please give a warm welcome to Randy Ubilos, the Chief Architect of Video Applications at Apple. Randy?
Thanks, Phil. Thanks. Good morning. Very excited to be out here and get to show you all the cool new features in iMovie 09. So let's jump right in. I'm going to start out showing you some editing. So just like iMovie 08, we've got the great skimming that allows me to look through my content. I'm just going to go ahead and select a bit of this and just drag it up to my project. That'll add that in. We've got another shot here, and it'd be really nice to insert this in the middle of this clip. All I have to do with iMovie 09 is let go, and up pops this new menu. And because I have the advanced mode turned on in preferences, I get even more choices than what Phil showed before. I get things like cutaway, picture-in-picture, green screen that are available to me. But we're going to go ahead and do an insert. And so once I do the insert there, the clip gets dropped in right at the spot where I let go. I can play that back. And you see we have a nice cut over to that shot. Let's take a look at a clip down here.
I'm sure you're going to miss this place. Never even forget it.
That's a great dialogue shot, and the sound there would be really nice to put in underneath the video that we were just looking at. So I'm just going to skim along here and just select it.
I'm sure you're going to miss this place. Never even forget it.
Skimming makes it really easy to find exactly that piece of audio. I'll take this up and I'll drop it up here. And this time what I'm going to choose is audio only. And what that's going to do is just place the audio in underneath the video. And let's go ahead and play that back.
I'm sure you're going to miss this place. Never even forget it.
So really easy to do that kind of mixture of audio and video. Let's go ahead and I've got a clip down here, one of the kids jumping in the lake. Kind of fun. Let's go ahead and select a piece of that. And we'll drag that up into the project. And we have another shot here that was taken a little while later where he kind of jumps in again. So I'll go ahead and select that one. And I'm going to drag that up in here. And let's take a look at that. So those are some nice clips, but we could make that look a lot better if we tightened up the action. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the new action pop-up, and I'm going to choose the precision editor. When I do that, what drops down is a magnified view of the edit that we're working on. And what you see here is everything on the upper line is all of the material to the left of the edit, and everything on the lower line is everything to the right of the edit. And I can skim back and forth and actually see the edit happen, but I can also skim on this clip and I can see the content before and after the edit on the clip on the left, and I can do the same thing on the clip on the right. So I can see all the different material that could be used for this edit. And everything you see here is interactive. I can grab this clip and move it back and forth. I can grab this clip and move it back and forth and adjust the edit any way that I'd like. Another really cool thing that I can do is I can actually come in here and just pick a spot and just click. And when I click, that point will slide over and that becomes the point where the edit takes place in that clip. Let's come down to this clip here and I'll pick a corresponding spot here where he goes in the water and we'll click, and now let's take a look at the edit. So we've got this nice kind of shift in the angle. Now, very, very easy. So if we just take a listen here now to the audio, notice the audio shifts there because the audio is cutting at the same point the video does, and so because of the change in the angle, it sounds different. We can take care of that by just selecting the audio button here, and now I can actually see my audio track separately here, and I can actually go in and I can adjust this separately by dragging it. So now what I've done is I've made the audio on the first clip extend beyond the edit point. So let's go ahead and play that back. So we just get a nice clean piece of audio from the clip on the left. So as you can see, this is a really complex edit. In a Pro Tool, this would take a lot more steps, and we've done it in a nice, really interactive, visual way. Next thing I want to show, I want to switch to a different project. So the way I'll do that is I'll click and go to my new project library. The project library now shows you these great little film strips of each of your projects, so it makes it really easy to find. I'm going to switch over to this project of an African safari. This is actually some footage that I shot about a year ago on a trip to Africa, and I'll switch over to the corresponding event. Let's go ahead and take a look at this clip down here. This was shot in the back of a Jeep that was bouncing along, and the footage probably wouldn't be something that you'd actually use because there's just too much motion in it. One of the really cool new features we have is video stabilization. Now this stabilization is done in a two-step process. The first step, the iMovie goes through and analyzes each frame of your video and compares it to the one before and one after and figures out what all the motion is. That takes some time, but it can be done on an entire event all at once. And once that's been done, as it has for this event here, all I have to do is select the segment of the video that I want and just drag it up here into my project. And when we play it back now, the stabilization's been applied, and it almost looks like the car was floating along there. So you can see a huge difference. Now, I have another clip down here, and this one we were kind of chasing some gazelle in a Jeep. And it's almost hard to see the gazelle in there because the Jeep is bouncing around so much. If I just go ahead and take that clip, select it, and then drag it up here into my timeline, and now when I play it back, now the gazelle pop out because it's been stabilized so much. And you notice, all I had to do was just drag that in, and the stabilization takes place. Let's take a look at another clip down here. I've got this great shot of this leopard coming down out of the tree, but it goes by so fast. It'd be really cool if we could slow that down. So let's go ahead, we'll select this, and I'm just going to drag this up here into my project. And now from the action menu, I'm going to choose Clip Adjustments. This brings up my inspector and allows me to adjust things. So we've got a nice slider here for speed. If I drag it to the right, the clip will go faster. Drag it to the left, the clip will go slower. We'll go ahead and do that, and let's just play that back. You'll notice it's now at half speed, no rendering, no waiting, takes place immediately. Another cool feature we have here is we have video effects. So we've got some great effects that you can do, and all I have to do is skim back and forth across the thumbnail, and I can see what it looks like. We've got some really cool effects like cartoon, we've got a nice vignette, we've even got an X-ray effect. One that a lot of people like is aged film. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And so now if I play this back, this clip's been stabilized, slowed down, and the aged film has been added. No rendering, all done in real time. It's going to make it really easy to enhance your movies. So we've added a number of other elements for enhancing your movies. Over here on my Maps and Backgrounds panel, you can see we have 4 different styles of map, and we have flat and globe maps. I'm going to go ahead and grab a flat education map, drag it up into my project, and now all I have to do is set the starting and ending location. We actually did start in San Francisco, which is the default, but the trip was actually to Botswana. So I'm just going to type in a couple of letters. The list is filtered down. I select Botswana, and I can actually change what I want the name on the map to be. So I'll just type in Safari, and then when we go ahead and play this back, you get this really cool animated map from one location to another. I can even just take one of the other styles and drag it on top of this one. When I let go, it remembers the starting and ending location. Let's take a look at this one. We get this really cool animated map, and you can even stack these together if you went through multiple cities along the way. So some really cool maps that we have now. We have some other elements. We have some new transitions. We have a whole bunch of new animated titles that are really cool. The thing I'm going to show you now is our themes. So with the themes, we have 5 themes, and I can skim across to get a look at how they look. We have things like comic book and scrapbook, film strip. I'm going to go ahead and pick photo album. And when I select this, what iMovie is going to do is it's going to go in and it's going to add some titles and transitions. It's going to go ahead and put a title at the beginning, and it's going to use the name of our project automatically. It's going to put in some cool transitions in here. It's going to mix those with cross dissolves, and it's even, down at the end, going to put an ending slide in, and it's going to use the name from the address book on this machine. This is Phil's machine, so it's picked up his name automatically. So let's go ahead and switch over to full screen and take a look at what that looks like. So you can see how nice and professional those look. So super easy to create really great looking movies. This is actually just a subset of all the new features in iMovie 09. I encourage you to go down to the booth or go to apple.com to check out the full set of features. Thanks very much.
Isn't that incredible? An amazing software, and thanks to Randy and his team and to everyone who's worked on it. It's so powerful. And just watching that, I'm so impressed that I edited that myself. So that's just some of the features in that new iMovie 09 that's going to make it a video editing product that every customer is going to love. Old iMovie users as well as all the new people that are going to get into video editing now with this incredible software. So that's the second application in the new iLife 09. I'd like to show you just one more. I'd like to talk to you about the new GarageBand 09. Now, GarageBand 09 has a number of really great features, great new guitar effects, great way to jam in Magic GarageBand. But I'm not going to tell you about those. I want to tell you about just one feature because it's really the most exciting one and a true breakthrough. The team was challenged with doing something no one's ever done before, to create a piece of software that can help people learn to play a musical instrument. So that's the biggest new feature in GarageBand 09. It's called Learn to Play. So what's Learn to Play? When you go into Learn to Play, you get a new user interface. You can learn to play a guitar or keyboard.